How's it going, everyone? In today's video, we're talking about the Neewer VS100WC motorized video slider, which my camera just happens to be on right now. So let's get this sliding. So, full disclosure, Neewer did send me this product to play around with, and I have been doing so for the past few weeks. I find it a super easy to use and fun slider. So let's see a few of its features. As can be expected, the slider can slide from left to right or front to back, depending on how your camera is oriented, but it can also center around a subject, much like an interview, which is what I'm accomplishing right now, or it can pan around to showcase a landscape, for example. I'll show you a little bit more about that later. All of this is accomplished by moving what Neewer calls the adjustable bar at the center of the slider. So by moving these knobs over here, you can adjust this adjustable bar, which will either make the camera pan inwards or outwards. So now let me show you the other mode. So this is the mode in which the camera pans outwards. And while the camera is doing so, I'll tell you a little bit more about the slider. So the Neewer VS100WC, 100 being 100 centimeters, which is the length of the slider. And in order for the camera to traverse all 100 centimeters, the fastest it can do so is 36 seconds. Now, I find the speed super usable, and I would even say if you're at a tighter focal length, it's a little fast because of the parallax effect. I would like to point out that you don't have to use all 100 centimeters of the slider. You can actually set your point A and point B, so if you only need to use half the slider, for example, you can manually set those points, which is useful, for example, where you can start seeing the slider, like in this instance right now. So if I was going to loop this shot, I could set my B point to end around here, and then I would no longer have that issue. Let's talk about the remote. So the remote comes with 4 very simple menus: video mode, time-lapse mode, reset A/B points, and settings. Let's talk about video mode first. In video mode, you can either set it to manual on or off. If manual is on, pretty straightforward, you move the slider using the joystick manually. If manual is off, then the slider will move on its own based on the parameters you select. So for example, if I have it set to loop yes, gradient yes, move to A with a duration of 36 seconds, that means that the slider will go as fast as it can from one side to the other, loop, and the gradient portion means that it'll slow down when it gets to the ends to make sure that there's a smooth transition back. Time-lapse mode. Now I have to say, this one I was not expecting to love so much, and it is really, really cool. So there's this little cable that comes with the camera. I'm going to show it on screen right now. If you plug this from the slider to your camera, you can remote trigger your camera based on the slider's parameters. So for this example, I set my shutter, iris, and ISO in camera, then plug this little cable into the slider, set the number of photos I want taken, and this is the result of that. By the way, as far as battery life is concerned, I have been using the Neewer NP550 battery that comes with the slider. I've been using it sporadically while recording this video, and it's lasted like more or less an hour. However, I do have this NP750 battery, which I use with the Atomos Ninja and Atomos Inferno. When using the slider non-stop in loop mode, this is how long the NP550 battery lasts, and this is how long the NP750 battery lasts. Although do keep in mind that you can always plug the slider in. The next menu item is Reset A/B Point, where you can select an alternate in and out point for the slider, and then finally Settings, where you have parameters such as language, brightness, etc. One important thing to note is that this slider does come with a remote and does not work with the Neewer app. Neewer does have another slider, also 100 centimeters in length, which does work with the app but does not come with a remote. I'll put links to both of these in the description below. And that's pretty much it on the slider. It's super easy to use, and you can really get some unique and creative shots with it. I'm dropping another video over here, which the YouTube algorithm seems to think might interest you. If you made it this far into the video, a like and subscribe would go a super long way. Thank you, and if you do subscribe, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.